Hello, everyone. Most people think healing starts when they take a pill, start a new diet, or join a gym, but that's not where true healing begins. Healing actually begins the moment you stop ignoring your body's signals. Your body is constantly speaking to you. Every single day, it sends out hundreds of small messages that reveal exactly what's going on inside. The problem is that most people have forgotten how to listen. We live in a world that teaches us to silence discomfort, to ignore pain, to push through fatigue, and to rely on quick fixes rather than paying attention to what our body is trying to say. But the truth is, your body never lies. It always tells the truth through symptoms, sensations, and subtle changes that are designed to protect you, not punish you. When you feel tired after eating, it could be your body warning you about blood sugar imbalance. When you wake up bloated, it's not just random, it's your gut saying something isn't right. When you crave sugar constantly, that's not weakness or lack of willpower. It's your body signaling that your cells are starving for energy because of insulin resistance. These are not coincidences, they are coded messages from your physiology. And ignoring them is like ignoring the check engine light in your car. Your body is not trying to make your life difficult. It's trying to survive in an environment that often works against it. Think about how easily we dismiss warning signs. Headache, take a painkiller. Can't sleep, grab a pill. No energy, pour another cup of coffee. Each of those choices numbs the symptom, but it doesn't solve the root problem. Over time, this creates a dangerous pattern where we lose connection with the signals that guide us toward balance. When we disconnect from our body's wisdom, we allow small issues to grow into chronic problems. A little inflammation turns into joint pain. Occasional tiredness turns into adrenal fatigue. Mild digestive discomfort turns into a full-blown gut disorder. None of it happens overnight. It's the cumulative effect of ignoring what your body has been whispering for years. Listening to your body means observing without judgment. It means becoming aware of how certain foods make you feel, how your mood changes with sleep quality, how your energy rises or drops after a meal, how your stress affects your digestion or skin. These are not random reactions, they're feedback loops. Your body uses them to guide you toward healing and equilibrium. When you learn to pay attention, you start to see patterns. You realize that maybe dairy always makes you congested, or that skipping breakfast actually improves your focus, or that stress instantly triggers sugar cravings. Each of these observations helps you understand your body's unique language. This awareness is the foundation of true healing. The body has an incredible capacity to regenerate, but it can't do that if its signals are ignored or suppressed. Healing begins when you respect those signals enough to act on them. That might mean resting when you're tired instead of pushing harder, drinking more water when you feel sluggish, or giving your digestive system a break through intermittent fasting. It might mean removing foods that trigger inflammation or introducing nutrient-dense vegetables that support cellular repair. When you honor these cues, you're no longer at war with your body, you're working with it. Ignoring your body's messages is easy in a world that rewards constant motion and productivity. But eventually, your body will force you to pay attention either through burnout, illness, or chronic fatigue. The good news is that you can reverse this pattern by listening early and responding wisely. You create space for your body to do what it's built to do: heal, balance, and thrive. The more you listen, the clearer the signals become. The clearer the signals, the easier it is to make choices that support your health. Every ache, craving, or emotion carries information. Your only task is to slow down, tune in, and listen before the whisper becomes a scream. Most people are taught to see symptoms as enemies, as things to suppress, hide, or get rid of as quickly as possible. But the truth is, symptoms are not the problem. They're messages pointing to the problem. They're your body's way of communicating that something deeper needs attention. When you have a headache, it's not because your body is deficient in painkillers. When you have acid reflux, it's not because your body forgot to produce antacids. These sensations exist because your body is intelligently signaling an imbalance, a deficiency, or a stress that needs to be corrected. Treating the symptom without addressing the cause is like turning off the fire alarm while the house is still burning. You might silence the noise, but the real danger remains. The body operates on feedback loops designed to protect and maintain balance. A fever, for example, is not a malfunction. It's a mechanism your body uses to fight off infection. Inflammation is not your body attacking itself. It's part of the healing process that brings immune cells to the site of injury or irritation. Even fatigue is not a flaw. It's your body's way of forcing you to slow down and conserve energy when your systems are overloaded. Yet, instead of listening, most people resist. They fight the body's natural responses with pills, energy drinks, or stimulants, pushing the body further out of alignment. Over time, this creates chronic stress on your systems, leading to deeper health problems that can no longer be ignored. It's important to shift how you view discomfort. Every symptom carries information. When your body produces pain, swelling, or digestive distress, it's communicating that there's an underlying imbalance, perhaps too much sugar, too little sleep, nutrient deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, or even emotional stress. By paying attention to when and how symptoms appear, you begin to decode your body's language. You start to see patterns. Maybe your headaches always appear after processed foods. Maybe your skin breaks out when you're under stress. Maybe your energy drops every afternoon after lunch because your blood sugar spikes and then crashes. None of these things happen randomly. They're your body's feedback mechanisms trying to guide you back to stability. The challenge is that modern culture has conditioned people to seek instant relief instead of root cause solutions. Pharmaceutical commercials, convenience products, and even certain medical practices often reinforce the idea that health is about symptom management rather than understanding the cause. But if you only treat the symptom, you're simply putting a bandage on a deeper wound. You might feel better for a while, but the imbalance continues to build beneath the surface. Eventually, that imbalance manifests as chronic disease, weight gain, hormonal issues, or metabolic dysfunction. The body always keeps score. When you begin to view symptoms as helpful feedback instead of nuisances, everything changes. You start to respect your body's intelligence. You no longer see a stomach ache as bad luck or fatigue as weakness. You see them as communication, your body saying, pay attention. Something needs to change. That awareness transforms frustration, curiosity. Instead of asking, how do I stop this pain? You start asking, why is this happening in the first place? That single question is where true healing begins. Your body's goal is always homeostasis, balance. Every reaction it produces is an attempt to restore that equilibrium. When you ignore or silence symptoms, you interrupt that process. But when you listen, identify triggers, and make adjustments through nutrition, rest, hydration, and stress reduction, you help your body do what it's designed to do, repair itself. Healing doesn't come from outside. It starts within through understanding and cooperation. Once you realize that your symptoms are not enemies, but signals, you stop fighting your body and start working with it. And that shift in perspective opens the door to real, lasting transformation. Healing begins with awareness, and awareness begins with paying attention. Most people move through life disconnected from their own bodies, running on autopilot, doing what they've always done without ever stopping to ask how it actually makes them feel. But your body is a living feedback system. Every single day, it gives you data, energy levels, mood changes, cravings, digestion, sleep quality, even how your skin looks. The problem is that we often ignore this feedback because we're too busy, too distracted, or too conditioned to believe that discomfort is just part of life. The moment you start observing what your body is trying to tell you without judgment or resistance, you step into a new level of awareness that becomes the foundation for healing. Awareness means noticing patterns instead of labeling them as random. It's recognizing that your fatigue might not just be from lack of sleep, but from blood sugar fluctuations. It's seeing that your bloating after meals isn't normal. It's feedback from your gut that something in your diet isn't working. It's realizing that your irritability or brain fog might have less to do with your mindset and more to do with nutritional deficiencies, dehydration, or adrenal fatigue. This kind of awareness turns you from a passive participant in your health into an active investigator. You begin to see that your body is not a mystery. It's constantly explaining itself. You just have to listen. Many people think that healing starts with taking supplements, following a new diet trend, or getting more exercise. But none of those things matter if you're still disconnected from your body's cues. You can't fix what you don't understand. Awareness gives you the map. It helps you identify the habits, foods, and thought patterns that create imbalance. For example, you might notice that when you skip meals, your anxiety increases. That's not random. It's your body's stress response to low blood sugar. Or you might observe that when you eat late at night, you wake up groggy because your liver never got the rest it needed to detoxify overnight. Awareness helps you connect the dots between cause and effect, between action and reaction. Developing this kind of awareness doesn't require fancy tools or medical tests. It just requires slowing down. Start by paying attention to how you feel after each meal, after a workout, or after a stressful day. Notice what drains your energy and what restores it. Write it down if you have to. Over time, patterns emerge. You begin to understand that your afternoon fatigue always follows a high-carb lunch, or that your skin clears up when you cut out dairy. These insights are powerful because they come directly from your own body, not from external advice. Your awareness becomes your most accurate guide. Awareness also requires honesty. You can't heal what you're unwilling to acknowledge. Sometimes the truth your body reveals isn't comfortable. It might show you that your lifestyle, diet, or mindset is causing harm, but facing that truth is liberating because it gives you the power to change it. Healing is not about perfection, it's about alignment. When your actions match what your body actually needs, balance is restored naturally. You no longer have to guess or rely on temporary fixes. You know what supports you because you've experienced it firsthand. This kind of awareness deepens over time. The more you practice tuning in, the more sensitive and accurate your understanding becomes. You'll start catching imbalances earlier before they turn into major problems. You'll notice that stress tightens your digestion or that dehydration clouds your thinking. Each observation strengthens your connection to your body and helps you respond with compassion rather than frustration. That's the moment true healing begins, not when you add something new, but when you finally start listening to the wisdom that's been inside you all along. Your body has its own language, and that language is nutrition. Every cell, every organ, every system in your body depends on nutrients to function, repair, and regenerate. When you eat, you're not just satisfying hunger, you're sending biochemical instructions that tell your body how to operate. Food is information. The quality of that information determines the quality of your health. Real nutrient-dense food communicates clearly with your body. Processed food confuses it. When you feed your body what it actually needs, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, healthy fats, it knows exactly what to do. But when you overload it with sugar, refined carbs, seed oils, and chemicals, the communication breaks down, and the result is fatigue, inflammation, and weight gain. Most people think of nutrition as calories, but the body doesn't count calories. It reads nutrients. It doesn't care if you eat 500 or 5,000 calories if those calories come from foods that lack the raw materials needed for repair. Imagine trying to build a house with broken tools and missing bricks. That's what happens when your diet is filled with empty calories. Your body might survive, but it can't thrive. Nutrients are what drive enzyme activity, hormone production, brain function, and energy metabolism. Without them, your systems start to slow down and you begin to experience symptoms, cravings, mood swings, joint pain, and poor concentration, all signs that your body's communication network is failing. When you eat nutrient-dense foods, everything starts to align. The body responds almost immediately. Whole foods like leafy greens, avocados, eggs, wild-caught fish, and grass-fed meats provide the micronutrients that your cells crave. These nutrients are not just fuel, they're signals that trigger healing responses. For example, potassium and magnesium calm the nervous system and regulate muscle and heart function. B vitamins support energy metabolism. Omega-3 fatty acids reduce inflammation and help with brain clarity. When your diet is rich in these essential nutrients, your body doesn't have to work in survival mode. It can focus on restoration. On the other hand, processed foods send the wrong messages. Refined sugars spike your insulin, leading to fat storage and energy crashes. Artificial ingredients disrupt your gut microbiome, which then affects everything from mood to immunity. Seed oils create oxidative stress that damages your cells at a microscopic level. Over time, this poor communication results in metabolic chaos. Your body becomes resistant to its own hormones, and your brain starts sending false hunger signals because it's not getting the nutrients it needs. You may eat plenty of food but still feel unsatisfied because your body is starving for real nutrition. Understanding that nutrition is your body's language helps you move away from diet culture and toward body intelligence. Instead of obsessing over calories or macros, focus on nutrient density, how much actual nourishment each bite provides. When you start feeding your body with intention, you'll notice that cravings fade, energy stabilizes, and mood improves. Your body feels safe again, and in that state, healing becomes automatic. You don't have to force it to lose weight or balance hormones. It does that naturally when it finally has the right materials to work with. This connection between nutrition and communication is also emotional. When you eat clean, whole foods, you start to feel more connected to your body because you can finally hear its signals clearly. Junk food creates noise, it drowns out the messages. But nutrient-rich foods create clarity. They make you more aware of how certain meals affect your mood, focus, and performance. Over time, eating becomes less about restriction and more about alignment. You no longer eat to fill a void, you eat to support life. The body has a natural intelligence that always seeks balance. Nutrition is simply the conversation that keeps that intelligence alive. When you feed your body what it recognizes as real, it responds with vitality, energy, and calm. When you ignore that language, it responds with symptoms because it's trying to remind you of what you've forgotten, that food is not just fuel, it's communication. And the quality of that communication determines the quality of your life. Rest and recovery are the forgotten pillars of healing. In a world obsessed with constant activity and productivity, slowing down feels counterintuitive, even lazy. But your body doesn't heal while you're rushing, stressing, or multitasking. It heals when you rest. Every system in your body, from your brain to your digestive tract, needs periods of downtime to repair, reset, and regenerate. Without rest, even the best diet or supplement routine can't fully work, because recovery is when your body actually integrates all the good you're doing for it. Just like you can't charge your phone while using it nonstop, your body can't recharge if you never stop pushing it. Sleep is one of the most powerful healing tools you have, and yet it's the one most people neglect. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, repairs tissues, balances hormones, and consolidates memory. Your liver detoxifies, your brain clears out metabolic waste, and your cells rejuvenate. When you sacrifice sleep, you're literally robbing your body of the time it needs to perform maintenance. Over time, that sleep debt leads to insulin resistance, inflammation, hormonal imbalance, and premature aging. Many people think they're tired because of low iron or poor diet, but in reality, they're just chronically under rested. The body is trying to force them to slow down, but they override the signal with caffeine or sugar. Rest also extends beyond sleep. It's the moments of stillness throughout the day that allow your nervous system to reset. Your body operates in two primary states: fight or flight, and rest and digest. When you're constantly in fight or flight, rushing, worrying, reacting, you're flooding your system with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones are useful in short bursts, but destructive when chronic. They raise blood sugar, slow digestion, suppress immunity, and prevent fat burning. Rest and digest, on the other hand, activates healing. It's the state where your body can absorb nutrients, regulate hormones, and repair tissues. The more time you spend in that calm, parasympathetic state, the more efficiently your body can restore balance. Intermittent fasting is another form of rest, not for the mind, but for the body's metabolic systems. When you give your digestive system a break from constant eating, your insulin levels drop, inflammation decreases, and your cells begin a process called autophagy, where they clean out damaged components and regenerate. Fasting isn't about starvation, it's about allowing your body the time to do internal housekeeping. Most people eat too frequently, which keeps their systems in a perpetual state of processing and never allows them to truly recover. By shortening your eating window or skipping late night meals, you free up energy for repair instead of constant digestion. Rest also involves emotional and mental recovery. Chronic stress exhausts your adrenal glands, disrupts sleep, and depletes nutrients. Many physical symptoms like headaches, tight muscles, or fatigue are really your body expressing mental overload. Taking time to unplug, breathe deeply, and disconnect from screens isn't indulgent, it's medicine. Meditation, walking in nature, gentle stretching, or even sitting quietly with your thoughts are all forms of rest that recalibrate your nervous system. These practices teach your body that it's safe, which allows healing to resume naturally. The irony is that when you finally start to rest, you become more productive, more focused, and more energized. Rest doesn't slow you down. It makes you more efficient. It gives your cells time to rebuild stronger, your mind time to clear, and your emotions time to balance. When you combine proper rest with nutrient-dense food and balanced movement, your body becomes a self-healing system. You don't have to force results because your body is no longer stuck in survival mode. It's thriving. The more you honor rest, the more your body thanks you with clarity, energy, and longevity. Recovery isn't a reward for hard work, it's a biological necessity. It's in those quiet, unhurried moments that real healing happens, because your body can finally do what it was designed to do: restore, rebuild, and renew. Working with your body instead of against it is the essence of true healing. Most people see their bodies as separate from themselves, something to control, manipulate, or fix when it doesn't behave the way they want. But the body is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally. Every function, every symptom, every change it goes through is designed to protect you, not harm you. When you stop trying to overpower your body and start cooperating with its natural intelligence, everything begins to shift. You no longer chase temporary fixes or fight against discomfort. You begin to understand that your body is always acting with purpose, always striving to bring you back into balance. Your body is constantly working to keep you alive, adapting to every challenge you face. If you eat too much sugar, it releases insulin to protect your blood vessels. If you're exposed to toxins, it activates your liver to detoxify them. If you're under stress, it produces cortisol to help you cope. These responses aren't failures, they're brilliant survival mechanisms. Problems only arise when these systems are pushed beyond their limits. Instead of blaming your body for storing fat, causing pain, or feeling tired, ask why it's doing that. Fat storage might be your body's way of protecting you from unstable blood sugar. Fatigue might be a signal to rest and recover. Inflammation might be your immune system working overtime to repair damage. When you view these reactions as communication instead of malfunction, you start to see that your body has been on your side all along. Working with your body means creating the right environment for it to thrive. It's not about extreme restriction or punishment. It's about alignment. Feed it whole, nutrient-rich foods that support your metabolism. Move it in ways that enhance circulation and flexibility rather than breaking it down. Give it rest so it can repair. When you stop forcing your body into exhaustion with overtraining or starvation diets, it responds by becoming more efficient and balanced. The body doesn't need to be tricked or pushed. It needs to be supported. When you provide the right inputs, it knows exactly what to do. Many people make the mistake of thinking that health is about control, controlling calories, controlling weight, controlling appetite. But control often comes from fear, and fear disconnects you from your body. Cooperation comes from trust, and trust restores connection. When you trust your body, you start to listen to it instead of fighting it. You eat when you're truly hungry, not when emotions tell you to. You rest when you're tired without feeling guilty. You stop forcing your body into rigid routines that ignore its signals. This trust builds a relationship that's based on respect. Your body begins to respond with stability because it finally feels supported instead of attacked. Healing accelerates when you align your habits with your body's natural rhythms. The human body operates on cycles: day and night, feeding and fasting, activity and rest. Ignoring these cycles leads to imbalance, but respecting them restores harmony. Eating at consistent times, sleeping in sync with your circadian rhythm, and allowing natural fasting periods give your body a predictable pattern it can rely on. When your actions align with biology, your energy improves, hormones regulate, and digestion becomes smoother. You feel more grounded because you're no longer working against the current of your own physiology. This partnership with your body is also emotional. When you hold resentment toward your body, when you see it as too slow, too heavy, or too flawed, you create internal resistance. But when you begin to appreciate it for everything it does, you shift from frustration to gratitude. Gratitude changes how your body responds. Stress hormones decrease, inflammation lowers, and healing accelerates. The body thrives under appreciation because it's wired to respond to positive emotional states. Working with your body means loving it through the process, not only when it meets your expectations. The more compassion and patience you bring to the journey, the faster your body learns to trust you again. Your body is not broken, it's brilliant. Every signal it sends, every adaptation it makes is an act of survival and intelligence. When you stop fighting it, you finally create space for healing to unfold naturally. Cooperation, not control, is what leads to balance. The moment you begin working with your body, you realize that it's been working for you all along.